There's a lot going on right now. Mounting economic inequality, threats to democracy, environmental disaster, the sour stench of chaos in the air. I'm Brooke Gladstone, host of WNYC's On the Media. Want to understand the reasons and the meanings of the narratives that led us here, and maybe how to head them off at the pass? That's On the Media's specialty. Take a listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's Only One story. The Only One in the Room has a wide variety of guests, from prisoners to abuse survivors to swingers. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee that Only One in the Room will have a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lessons are found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Hang Out, the bi-coastal podcast that's so sweet we should probably label it a biohazard.
The podcast where we talk about ourselves so much we might as well be doing our biographies.
The podcast that ain't no lie, baby. Bye,
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 bye.
bye, bye. I couldn't let you do it by yourself.
I would never expect you to. From the West Coast, I'm Lee Holmes Foster.
And from the East Coast, I'm Ellie Brigida, and welcome to Season 3.
Season 3? I can't handle it.
It's pretty crazy, actually.
It's a little much.
Yeah, I am so excited, though. Before this episode, I felt like I was going on a first date. You know what I mean? You know when you just get nervous and you're like, what will we talk about?
Did you get dressed up for this? Did you?
I did. I put makeup on and everything.
You put makeup on for me? I feel so special.
I know, right?
I missed you too, Ellie.
To those of you who have been with us through this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. And here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is somewhere for us to touch base every episode about things going on with the podcast, with our lives, with Greater Less Universe. And this week, we're going to start with a lot of things because it's our first week back and we have so many announcements for you. It's ridiculous. One announcement, you may remember that we keep taking summer hiatuses, A, because sometimes we need a little breather, and B, because my wife and I apparently just can't stop having babies, and we had another baby.
Amazing! More
Hooray!
Let's Hang Out babies.
We have a new Let's Hang Out baby. Her name is Audrey. She's pretty great. We're big fans. And yeah, so thanks for suffering through the long summer without us, but it was great to get a little time off to play with some babies.
Oh, I wish that I could play with some babies.
Anytime, Ellie. Come over anytime.
I'll be there next year.
Okay. Just start driving
I
now.
will. I can do this. Road trip. And we also have some announcements for Season 3. So we're going to be doing some things a little bit differently. Season 3, we've been testing out some new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And we're going to have more original songs like we always do. But we're going to be cutting down a little bit on our YouTube channel because we want to focus on more live shows and live events so we can actually get in front of all of you and hang out with you. Which leads us to some of our most exciting events that we've been having over the summer, and we're going to continue through the season, which are going to be trivia nights. Dun, dun, dun.
Everyone loves trivia. And by everyone, I mean me. I love trivia.
I feel like it really fits our personalities to be doing trivia because we're just full of fun facts, full of fandom love. So we're starting with the L word because why not? But we will be branching out into Orange is the New Black, LGBTQ music, possibly a Winona Earp trivia night. So keep an eye out for that. Ooh. But I want to let you know about our L word trivia nights that are coming up. We have one at Henrietta Hudson in New York on Thursday, September 26th. one in DC at XX Plus October 3rd, one in Denver at Blush and Blue on October 11th. That one is also going to have a DJ'd after party. I wish I could be there for that, but we have an amazing host there and an incredible DJ Matriarchy from LA.
Oh my God! Stop
I know
it.
it's gonna
That
be
is the coolest thing I've
it's
ever
gonna
heard.
be out of control. I planned this event and I wish I could be there, but it's okay. You will all be there and have a blast. So let us know about it. Take all the pictures. And then we have a second event in New York at Caveat, Sunday, October 27th. And if you want to see trivia in your city, let us know. Email us at leshangoutpod@gmail.com and we will do our best to try to set up an event.
And keep checking in with us. We're going to be scheduling more of these. We're trying to find more venues. We're trying to find more trivia topics. But we want these to keep happening. They've been a ton of fun so far, and we just can't wait to get more of them in our calendar.
Oh, yeah.
So keep an eye out. We'll have more things coming up. Also, we want to highlight our Season 3 campaign for our Patreon. I know we say this all the time, but we want to make sure we kick off this season once again thanking all of our Patreon members. This really is why we are able to keep doing this podcast. It makes such a huge difference. And we have a couple things coming up already that we want to let you know about. First, we are going to have our first watch party, Les Central's watch party for Season 3. On September 15th, we are going to be watching Colette, starring my fave, Keira Knightley.
Everyone knows you love Keira Knightley.
Shh, no one knows that. And if you want to join at the Ellen DeGeneres level or up, you can join us for that. We love these watch parties. We can't wait to have another one. So anytime before September 15th, get in quick and come hang out with us and watch it. We also are going to have some new Patreon tiers that we're starting.
Yes, so we are going to have a $50 tier. Check it out to see all of the cool perks you can get there. And we're also going to have a much larger sponsor level perk at $250. I know that seems like a lot, but that means that you will have an ad in every single one of our episodes. So if you have an LGBTQ business or any type of business that you would like us to shout out, that is our sponsor level on Patreon, and we would love to have more queer sponsors for the show.
Other things that we have coming up, we are gonna be heading to New Orleans, October 31st, for the weekend soiree. We have been talking about this for such a long time now. We cannot wait to actually get out there. We're so pumped. If you haven't checked it out, you should look up the weekend soiree, see if it's something you're interested in, maybe going to hang out with a bunch of queer people in New Orleans for Halloween. We know we're excited. Maybe that sounds like something that would be fun for you. There's going to be some fun workshops. There's going to be cool events, activities, parties, so much stuff. Oh my God, I'm so excited again. I can't even wait. Is it now? Is it now? It's not now.
Gonna
Why is
be
it
out
not
of
now?
control.
It's
Cannot
soon.
wait to be there and also let you know all of the shenanigans that we get up to. And that's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee. We are so excited, if you couldn't tell already, to bring you our very first episode of Season 3, 20BiTeen.
20BiTeen. I feel like, so last year I think we said 20GayTeen, the year of our Lord and Savior. So
Yes.
20BiTeen has to be the year of the Holy Spirit.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah.
The year of the Holy Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, year of the Holy Spirit. That's what I'm gonna go for. Make room for the Holy Spirit, because they are coming in and they are messing shit up.
Is that like leave room for Jesus? Because it sounds different. I think we're doing something different here.
Yes, I mean, we used to say, yeah, make room for the Holy Spirit when you were at a middle school dance. I came from a Catholic background, everyone. Here we are. And a very different Lord and Savior this year.
In 20BiTeen?
Yes.
Yeah, well, let's hope, right?
I love it.
Yeah, we did 20GayTeen last year. We had to kick off Season 3 with 20BiTeen. It's time. It's the year. We need to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think bis have waited quite long enough for this year, so...
Oh, yes. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about why we want to focus on bisexuality and maybe get on a soapbox a little bit about why we all should be focusing on bisexuality. But I found this article, as I tend to do, on Rolling Stone that was all about bisexuality and pansexuality on TV and why it's so important that we are now really talking about it, because bisexual rep in the media has historically not been super great.
Not great, no. Not what I would describe as fantastic.
No. So the first thing that I think we need to just do away with is the cheating on their husband trope.
Yep.
And that's where we've seen a lot of bisexuals in the past, which also I think goes into a lot of bi erasure, because we have, right, they're straight with their husband and they're lesbians with the person they're cheating on their husband with. And we don't talk about the fact that they probably are bisexual.
Yeah, bisexual, I feel like part of the reason that it's been so hard to get good representation is, it's just non-existent, right? God knows society, we love our binaries, but you absolutely go from one to the other, right? You are straight until you're gay. That's it, and that's the story that they want to tell. And I mean, it's fine, that is some people's stories, of course, but it doesn't leave that any room in the middle for, other identities that might be somewhere in the middle of those two extremes on a spectrum of sexualities. Just thinking out loud here, you know?
Just an idea. I don't know.
Just some musings off the top of my head.
There's nothing in media that backs this up. Not a ridiculous number of characters who have been erased as bisexuals and turned straight into a lesbian. So we're going to talk about bisexuality. But I also wanted to say that I feel as though this episode should be about bisexuality, pansexuality, anyone who's queer, anyone who's attracted to more than one gender identity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think we also we've moved a bit from bisexuality being the only other option besides lesbian, right?
Yes, although I do have to laugh as you're saying that we are definitely going to have, did you sign up for podcasts just to hear two lesbians yell at you about bisexuality for the next 45 minutes?
I know.
Boy, did you come to the right place.
I know, but I mean...
We have the podcast for you, my friend.
Yes, I'm not speaking exactly from experience. Neither of us
No, but
are,
I think it's great. I think it's great. Because the other thing is, realistically, I'm going to make a wide, sweeping, generalized statement, but lots of lesbians are kind of shitty about bisexuality. So let's stop that here. Let's end the cycle, and let's just say, let's listen to two lesbians talk about how great bisexuality is and how they deserve better than everything they've gotten. How's that?
Yes, I'm all for it.
Me too. That's why we're going to do this episode. Oh my god, good planning, Ellie.
I'm so excited. Also, just to play into more lesbian tropes about bisexuality, I love bisexuals because I usually date them. So yay, bisexuals. Thanks for being bisexual and thanks for dating me.
There you go. You go, bisexuals. You go.
That's all I have to say.
So start us off. So where are we, how are we diving into the whole year of 20BiTeen? Are we doing a retrospective first? Are we doing current topics first? What's your pleasure?
I think we should work our way up. So
Okay.
I want to talk about some of the bisexual characters who have been erased
Okay.
to set the stage of where we've been and where we now in the year of 20BiTeen have come. So one character that I really want to talk about is Willow in Buffy.
I have so many thoughts on Willow in almost every, any topic. If you let me talk about Willow, I could just talk about Willow
So
for
here we are.
hours.
Let's talk about Willow and try not to get too crazy about Willow because we need to get to 20BiTeen.
Let's talk about Willow's bisexuality erasure.
Yes. So Willow dated Oz, was in love with Oz, who is male identifying, werewolf identifying.
Werewolf American.
Yeah. And once she started dating Tara, there was an episode where basically she just says, hey, gay now.
Yeah.
And they just basically sweep Oz under the rug and are like, okay, nope, now she's gay because there's no way that she could be bisexual. She's either one or the other. And for as much as Buffy did for Queer Rep, that is, I think, the one of the blind spots of the show.
Yeah. And which is not to say that Willow couldn't be gay. She can be gay, but they never explicitly covered that. You never had that discussion of Willow sitting down, self-reflecting, talking through with, I mean, in that way that, you know...
we always process?
Well, yeah. In that way that queer people are so fond of elaborately discussing every aspect of their feelings on every issue.
True.
And sometimes making podcasts.
To talk about them. Here we are.
I don't know what could have brought that to mind. There was never a moment where she reflected on having been attracted and solely attracted to men until meeting Tara. And that makes it tough because it is, you know, I think there's a lot of things about bisexuality that get lost in those stories because I think it creates the impression in people's minds when they watch that those are the only two choices. You're either straight, the way you've been up until now you like a girl, and so therefore gay. Just 0 to 180 on your sexuality real fast.
Which I feel like makes people think, watching that media, also, those are the only two options for me.
Right, exactly.
And so that also creates this like black and white scenario in real life too. It's not just watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Right? Can we move on to the next?
Yes, although just before we leave real quick, I do just have to toss in there, because when else are we ever going to get the chance to say it? But, like, I feel like Oz was going to end up being bi down the line, too. Anyways, not the point of the conversation.
You're right. You're not wrong.
But come on.
Gay magnetism is real.
Right?
Bisexual magnetism is also real.
That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what's our next story?
So I want to talk about Callie Torres because I feel as though she was one of the first characters on TV to be unapologetically bisexual. And so I just want to talk about her as a thank you to Grey's Anatomy. Thank you to Sarah Ramirez.
Let's just always thank Sarah Ramirez for everything. Everything good in the world. Thank you, Sarah Ramirez.
Yes. And there's a scene where she literally just starts screaming that I am bisexual. Like, how do you not get it? The B in LGBTQ does not stand for badass. It is one of the best lines ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Love Callie, love Sarah Ramirez. Just great.
Just great. That was an important stepping stone. There have been a bunch of very important stepping stones to get us to now.
And yet, while we're talking about Willow and that whole storyline, I mean, of course you know where my mind immediately went, right? Because where does my mind always go? Always immediately goes to Wynonna Earp, Ellie. Come on.
Oh, of course, of course.
Sounds very similar to a certain Waverly Earp, who also dated one guy at length, and then suddenly is just immediately a lesbian upon falling for Anne Girl.
That does make sense. I will say, just for argument's sake, that it did not seem like she was in love with that boy in the same way.
Well, is that just because you like Oz more than you like Champ?
Yes, but also Champ's gross.
Champ is the worst, but she did also date him and presumably sleep with him, and
all right. You're
gave no indication that she was not into Champ because of his being a man, as opposed to him being the worst.
The worst.
Just the worst.
The worst.
I'm just gonna say it's a similar story that we're still seeing.
You're not
on
wrong.
Our television screens,
and we are gonna talk about it once we get to another new/old television series.
Okay,
we're gonna get there because I agree. We've made these stepping stones, but it's not linear.
Yeah,
it's definitely not linear. The first TV show that I want to talk about.
Are we jumping into our current present day now?
Yeah, we're going to go to present day. Of course, we can also give a shout out to Steph Beatrice, one of our favorite bisexuals we all know, Nicole Payson. There are plenty of amazing bisexual actresses that have been very vocal.
Natasha Negavanlis.
We love you all. Yeah, pansexual. So there's plenty of people that we could talk about, but let's jump in to the 20 by teen of now.
20 by teen.
Yes. So I want to talk about Are You the One? Come All.
Please do, because I'm so embarrassed to say I have not watched any of it. I mean, I'm not that embarrassed. Like, I have a new child, and I think that's
there's like some things that are going on in your life.
There's certain things that are fine to take precedence over that, but I am very disappointed that I have not gotten to watch any of it yet. So please fill me in on the beautiful disaster that it sounds like it is.
So how much do you want me to fill you in? Spoiler free?
I mean, I don't mind spoilers. Let's not get sucked into like a deep, deep black hole of this, because I feel like we could be here all night.
I'm not going to go episode by episode.
I watched the teaser when they dropped the teaser. So like, I know the premise. I've met some of the people.
Yes. So I will say from day one of Are You the One, I was obsessed with the show, but when it was straight. And I was not straight, but I loved the show. And I always was like, ugh, if this was ever gay, I would love to go on it. Now I'm so upset because I can't go on it. It's okay, I love my girlfriend, but I wish I could be a trash bag on reality TV sometimes. Oh, it's okay. But we can let me get that out of my system.
Okay.
Now, let's just talk about the show. So, the concept of the show is they put 16 people in one house. And what I will give them is they don't call it's not just a bisexual dating show. It is a dating show for people who are attracted to all gender identities. That's how they describe it. So, there are non-binary people. There are pansexual people. Everyone in the house is open to dating any gender identity, and I think that's really amazing.
I mean, here's the thing. I am of an age to remember what I think were the forefathers of this type of show, which were the just sparkling, glittery dumpster fire that was A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, whatever, Another Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, whatever the second season was called, and then A Double Shot at Love with the Icky Twins. They were not this, right?
Yes.
And I'm not gonna say I didn't watch at least 2 seasons of that. It was a mess. But just the idea, even in the time frame when those shows were taking place, the idea of doing a reality show where you just filled a house with people who not only are open to all gender identities, but like live that, like who are all gender identities. It would have been unthinkable. I mean, some of that didn't exist at the time, but like wasn't even common enough that people would have known at the time. Like, good Lord, when A Double Shot at Love was out, non-binary was not a commonplace thing that was just known and, accepted the way it is. It's so cool. It's so cool that this even exists. And I love that we can have trashy TV like this because our community needs this. We've waited long enough.
No, it's amazing. I feel like when we know we've like really achieved equality is when I can be like, ugh, all of these queer people suck, but like they get to be on reality TV show just like the straight people who suck.
Yes.
It's fine. Exactly. We suck too.
There are queer disasters out there and we want to watch them date each other.
Yes.
Come on. That's the dream.
And I will say, I feel like people are going to come at me because I said all these people suck. So I will say that's an exaggeration.
It's reality TV. We all know what you mean.
It's reality TV. The one thing I will say about a queer dating show, more so than a straight dating show, is the processing that happens. Some of them do some questionable things, but I will say the communication is pretty freaking good. Like, literally, let me just explain this to you, Lee, and you will die.
Do it. Tell me all about it.
So this was probably my favorite episode in terms of the communication. There was a 5-some.
Okay.
Yep. So there was a 5-some. And the day after the 5-some, every person who was involved in the 5-some, needed to discuss with each other. Are we all okay with this? Discuss with their partners. I was in a 5-some. Like, I just want you to know that this happened. And, you know, of course, I'm still like, you're my ride or die, but I just wanted to like make sure you knew, right? Whereas I feel like straight people would be like, I wasn't there. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, we're not.
I was asleep.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. Like, just lie. Just keep lying.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it sounds very responsible.
For a reality TV show, it's pretty responsible. They have a relationship coach who comes to talk to them about all the like horrible things they're doing. And I will say, I have seen a bunch of them grow. And it's pretty actually wild.
This is not the reality TV of our youth, Ellie.
It is still trashy. I will say, they get wasted. They have 5-somes. They hook up with people that are not their match. You know, they get into fights. It's still reality TV. But there are also some gems. Basit, who is non-binary, they are my favorite ever. From day one. There's so many tropes in it. It's crazy. I'm like, they literally picked all the types of queer people. They're totally the like friend who helps you process and who like takes one friend and is like, all right, here's how you're feeling. Here's how you're feeling. Let's work this out. And I'm not going to super spoil it, but they have found love in the house, and the love story between them and the other person that they're with is honestly beautiful. So there's queer love, there's queer trash, but we've got it all.
It's all there. It's all there. I'm sold. Yeah. Sold.
You need to watch this show, Lee.
I know. I really do.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen. What are you doing? What do you mean? Just keep it simple. I'm making the promo. Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros. No. Oh. Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple. I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph. All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice. Brav Bros. Good job.
Hey, do you like true crime? Me too. And I know what you're thinking. There's so many true crime pods out there, you've already heard all the stories. Well, what if I were to tell you you're wrong? I'm Leroy Luna, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the podcast that takes a hardcore look at softcore crime. I've got a back catalog of hundreds of bizarre and hilarious stories just waiting to be heard by you. So come join me. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th every month, baby.
With all that free time that I have these days, so I'll get right on it.
You'll get there.
But you know what I am slightly more caught up on is Schitt's Creek.
Oh, thank God. Yes. So I put Schitt's Creek on here, which is not necessarily new in 2019, but I just want to talk about David's character.
I think we should. Because I think everyone needs to know about a character who sometimes likes a little white wine and sometimes likes a little red wine.
It's amazing. He is a pretty feminine character on this, right? I would say most people in society would assume that he's gay, but he is pansexual. And he's very open and clear about that from the first time we talk about his sexuality. His parents are good with it. They know about it. You know, there's some dialogue about it. But I also just love Dan Levy.
Yeah.
And he has done such a good job trying to create some more positive representation for pansexual, for gay characters. And I'm obsessed with it. It's also the funniest show I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's great. I also, while you're saying his parents know and they're cool with it, I love some of the discussions that the parents have about it. I love the awkward, I mean, always, I just love awkward parent interactions around, like, their
sexuality,
kids, significant others and stuff. But I also just love the idea of having, it's like getting high and discussing your son's pansexuality as, like, I'm totally okay with it, but I don't really get it, and what are all of these terms, and I'm way too high to deal with all of this. And I'm just like, that is just so adorable. It's so perfect, right? Because that's exactly what you need, is you need not just David's character, you need David's character and the parental response that he gets.
Yes.
And I just thought that was done really well, where it's a same thing. It's approachable, it's supportive, it's not beating you over the head with it. You know, it's not your typical, we're gonna learn to love you because we can grow and you're our son and we do still love you even though you're this way, and we'll learn to be better after making you feel like shit for a whole episode. Like, no, it's just, that never happens, you know? It's just, great, is this your special someone Brett you're bringing by? And then let's go get high and talk about how, is he attracted to pans? Like, no, just people.
I know, oh god. But it makes it so much better because it's written by Dan, who is also pansexual in real life. So it's like,
yeah,
the writing is so great around it because, you know, he's probably dealt with this plenty of times before. And he's like, here, we're going to throw this out here so you can stop asking me questions about it. Here, watch this episode. Thank you. I love it. I really want to talk about Will and Grace, which is, it brought me on a roller coaster. I will say that.
I think it took all of us on a roller coaster when this was happening, right? I mean, I felt like this was everywhere through this whole storyline.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure some of you have heard, in the new Will and Grace, Samira Wiley does a guest spot and becomes Karen Walker's girlfriend. Thank God. So that's the height of the roller coaster. I'm like, whoo, this is amazing.
Flying high. You've climbed the steep incline. You're at the top.
Yes. And it was great. We've known that Karen has been bisexual. Even in the previous one, there were a bunch of allusions to her being bisexual. So once she was finally with Samira Wiley, everyone was like, yes, they're going to really put Karen out there. She's bisexual. Everything's great. I want to say some of the lines from these episodes because they have me rolling. Karen asks Samira, who's Nikki is her character, so are you permanently parked in the lesbian zone, or do you move your car to opposite sides of the street from time to time for plowing?
Ooh.
It's just such
Queen of a double entendre, huh?
Such a bisexual thing to say, Karen. Out of control. And then once she's figuring it out, she tells her politically, I prefer Bush over Johnson.
I don't know why that never caught on more. That's a great euphemism.
I think it's dated now, but I'm like, we got to bring it back. And there's another joke where Samira Wiley says, Karen, I think we need to talk. And Karen says, of course we do. We're lesbians. All we do is talk.
There's that queer processing for us again.
So much queer processing. So I'm like, oh, yes, love this storyline. So into it. Final episode of season frickin' 2. Karen's sitting at a bar, drinking, and the bartender says, do you really think you're a lesbian, or do you just think you're lost? Which I feel like the writers had a really great opportunity right there to have Karen say, no, I'm not lost. I'm not a lesbian. I'm bisexual.
I'm bisexual. Just say it.
That's all they needed to do. Instead, they have Karen go talk to Nikki, and she says, I've been really thinking about it. I don't know why I can't say it. I want to say it and I just can't say it to you. I need to speak my truth. I'm straight. And it was just the most devastating 2 words I could have ever heard on that show.
Yeah.
From Karen Walker. And I feel like not enough people have written about it because I started looking, and maybe it's like because it just happened. I was looking for some articles where people were going to talk about, you know, this missed opportunity of them, you know, having her go experiment with women and then decide I'm straight, rather than go with what she's been for all of these years and just say I'm bisexual. 1 word change and it would have been a completely different storyline.
That one hurts most, especially because it's not even just the typical bisexual erasure where, you know, you just skip over things or you know, have this complete 180 flip from one to the other. That, it's like it erased everything. Everything. Yeah.
It hit me real hard, and that just happened. Like, this is a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying in the beginning, it's not linear, and that's the frustrating thing, is that you can take all these strides forward, and people are still gonna make these choices. And I feel like writers need to know those choices affect people. When Karen finally had a queer experience on screen, that was huge for people.
Yeah.
And then they just took it away.
And not just took it away, but took it away in a way that just negates everything else that's ever happened with her character. Yeah.
It was
disappointing.
It was very disappointing.
Disappointing, Will and Grace. Let's talk about less disappointing things.
Yes, great. Bring us up.
On the opposite side of that, so here you have someone who was clearly bisexual the entire time, who then just, you know, completely wipes all of that off the board. But Orange is the New Black, where, again, I mean, someone who very obviously is bisexual, we know is bisexual. There's never a question that she's bisexual. It's been pretty clearly established. This is a bisexual woman through and through, no question about it. And yet took almost 100 episodes to say the word bisexual. And of course, we are talking about Orange is the New Black.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
So 89. Took 89 episodes, finally, to say the word bisexual, but did say it.
Yes.
And, I mean, you know, I don't think that it's a question. I mean, there's never been a question that Piper was bisexual. I mean, almost just from the first opening scenes of the show, right? I mean...
It was literally side by side,
right.
her with a woman, her with a man. Like,
yes.
In the first few shots. So we've always known, and I don't think they've tried to erase it. I think it's just so important. The words are really important.
Yeah.
Just to hear it said is important. The actions are also important. But put the two together and you can really make an impact on people who are trying to figure out their sexuality. So I think it's super important.
It's super important. So, you know, good on Orange is the New Black. We got that in there. I would also say the Bold Type, I think, is another one that's done a great job of having same thing, having a character who has always been with men, meets the one girl that suddenly opens that new door and does not immediately just wash away every part of her identity that existed before. And, you know, I think Kat's always been very clear about being bisexual and really owning that identity very clearly and very proudly in a way that I just love.
I love the Bold Type. Also, have you seen Euphoria, Lee?
I haven't. Ellie, I've been very busy.
There's
okay. Lots of babies.
It's okay, but I need to tell you about it because it had me shook.
I've heard that, and I've seen some clips and some gifs.
Zendaya can get it any day. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm ready. Let's just say I'm ready.
Yes. The great thing about Euphoria in terms of bisexual queer representation is that the main characters, Jules is a trans actor.
Mm-hmm.
And she also plays a trans character. Ding, ding, great. Why doesn't everyone do this? But, you know, give them a checkbox for something they should already be doing. But she also sleeps with men and sleeps with women. And so you have a bisexual trans character as well. And they don't say the word bisexual, so I'm not sure exactly how Jules would identify. But I think it's a good step forward of, this is the first season. You've set the scene, and you have characters who are very fluid in their gender identity, very fluid in their sexual identities, and they're just characters in your show, and this is how they are, right? And from the beginning, Euphoria did such a good job with that, and I am so excited. And then Zendaya's character, they never talk explicitly about her sexuality, but her and Jules are an item at a certain point. And you can see that she's also had some experiences with boys, too. The two main characters don't put themselves in boxes. And I think, especially for a show about high schoolers, I think that impact is going to be huge on the young LGBTQ community.
And I think it's such a more accurate representation of where I feel like so many high schoolers are right now. Like teenagers in general, they're just, they're so much more aware, they're so much more fluid, they're so much more comfortable with these things. I think it's great. It's great.
I'm
great
jealous.
Representation, both in terms of what it's actually portraying of where teenagers are right now, and also just in terms of what that puts out there, puts on the map, in terms of keeping TV up to date with where stuff should be. So yeah, awesome.
I also feel like I have to give a mention to Emma in Vita. So I just started Vita. I've been trying to catch up with, I finished Gentleman Jack. I've been working hard this summer, okay?
We're trying.
I've been working hard watching TV all summer, okay?
There's a lot in this, the year of the Holy Spirit.
There's so much.
20BiTeen.
But Emma, I know a lot of people are going to want to talk about Emma. She's a great character, and that she also is very unapologetic about her sexuality, very unapologetic about her sensuality as well, and she doesn't want to put herself in a box either. So she sleeps with men, sleeps with women, and doesn't want to put a label on it, which is totally fine. She's basically the main character. So you get a lot of her in the show, and I think that's really important. So that's wrapping up our TV. There's so much. Is there more?
I know. No, there's not, but I think we're going to start talking real fast because, boy, did we have too many things to talk about.
We have so much to talk about. And I'm like, go.
Go.
Next.
Go. Okay, let's do real quick movies. Just some highlights. Booksmart. Let's start with Booksmart because loved it.
Loved it. Booksmart's amazing. All right, next. No, I'm just kidding.
Booksmart, I think, obviously features a lesbian character, features a queer identified actress. I don't know that Beanie Feldstein has actually come out with any sort of label on herself.
Yes, but she is dating a woman. She's amazing.
She is dating a woman, so somewhere under the queer umbrella, so that's awesome. And also, directed by Olivia Wilde.
Mm-hmm. Who was also an iconic bisexual.
Iconic bisexual. Not just in the OC, but also in House. So
there you go.
There you go.
Bisexual rabbit hole. There we go.
Bisexual rabbit hole, all related to Booksmart, which, don't worry, everyone. We will, of course, be talking more about Booksmart later on in the season. Woo! We have so much planned for season 3, don't you worry. Other things I want to talk about in movies, obviously, recently we just had the announcement about Valkyrie and the new Thor movie that's going to be coming out, and how Valkyrie, played by our favorite, also queer woman, Tessa Thompson, will be looking for her queen.
Whew.
And we all died a little that day, so...
Died a lot. Died so much.
Died a little much.
Yeah.
A little much dying that happened within the queer community. We were shooketh, is what we mean.
Yes. Valkyrie has always been canon bi, so that's great.
Yes.
But we have yet to see Marvel put their money where their mouth is. So,
well, this is true.
So I am hoping that will really be a big part of the next movie, and not they're going to be like, Valkyrie was in the room with a girl and she walked you can tell she was with a woman here, right?
Valkyrie found her queen and they are co-ruling together as platonic best friends.
Yeah. So I'll love it when I see it, but I am excited.
Can we talk about some real life stuff too?
Oh my god, yes. There's been a lot.
There's been a lot. And I know the first one, I mean, I wrote it down anyways, even though it happened in 2018, but I think we deserve to celebrate it for a whole other year.
That's fine.
So we're not done celebrating Janelle Monáe, obviously coming out as pansexual, attracted to just people, because that's A, amazing, and B, a big deal, and C, I love Janelle Monáe.
I mean, we just had to find a way to sneak her into this episode,
Yeah.
so...
Every topic somehow comes back to Janelle Monáe.
That's where she is.
Yes. Let's talk about Booksmart and how it should have had Janelle Monáe in it. Yeah? Okay.
Yes, please.
Great.
Next time.
Coming up in season 3.
Booksmart 2.
Booksmart 2.
Down for it.
Oh, could you imagine they
Street
go
Smart.
to college and one of them has a hot teacher played by Janelle Monáe?
Yeah, I could see it. All right, let's do it.
I'm dying a little already. It's okay. That idea is free, courtesy of us. You're welcome.
Yes.
Let's talk Caleb, because you said you didn't know who Caleb was.
Yes,
You do know who Caleb is,
I probably
though.
do. I may not
Yeah.
know the actual ship name.
So it's one of my favorite things recently. So Caleb is the ship name of Hannah and Caleb on Pretty Little Liars. Hannah played by Ashley Benson and Caleb played by Tyler Blackburn. And they dated in real life for a while and now have both become bicons. Just these beautiful bi icons in a way that I love. So Ashley Benson obviously is now married? No, engaged to? Is there an official ruling on what the status is right now?
I feel like the tabloids are out of control. They were like, it was a friendship ceremony. Joke's on you. And we're like, what? So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're married or not, but they got some sort of like commitment ceremony.
Okay. Commitment ceremonied in some possibly real way with Cara Delevingne. And Tyler Blackburn has not officially come out and said that he is dating anyone, but there's a guy who shows up pretty regularly on his Instagram, I think, sometimes wearing fewer clothes than other times.
Do we know who this guy is, or it's just like a guy?
He has said he has a boyfriend. He hasn't really named names. And
we all know. We will know.
I just love that. I love that they seem like they've remained friends. They're both super supportive of each other, and they're just both super, super bi and super happy and super totally chill with it. And I love that. Especially because
awesome.
same thing. Caleb, as a ship, I think was a big ship for a lot of people who watched the show. I think people were invested in them as people and the real lives that they led. And I love that that's what they now bring into the world,
It's awesome. I know. I'm a big Ashley Benson, Cara Delevingne fan, so I'm all for it. Let's talk another bicon who has been all over the news lately. Miley freaking Cyrus.
This has been such a delight it's reminiscent of the Herald They're Lesbians, right?
Oh, yes.
The media coverage of... Well, here, can you set the scene for us, for people who are not familiar with what we're talking about?
Let's set the scene. So, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth are married, right? And we see some photos that come out with Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Carter, where they are on vacation, in bikinis, lounging by a pool, and also making out. So we already know Miley is bi. She's been very open about being queer and openly queer. And about the same day we see all these pictures, we find out that Miley and Liam have agreed to separate. Which, first of all, rough. I love Liam. I feel like I loved them together. But we all see what's happening. All of queer Twitter, all of LGBTQ social media are like, okay, it's pretty obvious what happened here. Miley wanted to explore her sexuality, and Liam was like, baby not, babe. And she was like, sorry, I'm gonna do it with this hot girl. Gotta go. And that's what happened.
But I just, I feel like the whole Herald They're Lesbians, this is like the Herald They're Bisexual. This is that. of the media going nuts with, what are they doing? Friends on a boat. Who knows what that kiss could mean? And everyone is just watching them going, it means they're hooking up on a boat in Lake Como because they're bisexual. This is not this is not a confusing hard trail of breadcrumbs to follow. There's a loaf of bread on the floor and the loaf of bread is bisexual.
Just eat it.
Context clues here, people.
So, talking about straight people being clueless. So, Jana, who is my girlfriend, she works with a lot of people from Boston who are, I hesitate to say the word basic, but they're very heterosexual, okay? So, live in the suburbs, husband, golden retriever, very cookie cutter heterosexual people, okay? Not to say all heterosexuals are cookie cutter, but these people are, okay? So she texts me, and the day after Miley and all this stuff happens, and one of these women is talking super loudly in the office, like, oh, did you hear about Miley? I don't understand why people keep saying all this stuff. They're probably just friends. And so earnestly.
Oh, straight people.
Me and Jan are just going back and forth, and I'm like, they're not. They're clearly not. And I'm like, also, if you follow Miley on Instagram, if you follow her on any of her social media, it's not even like she's being coy about it. She's like, this is my hot new girlfriend, everyone.
Yeah.
Look how hot we are together.
Here we are on a boat making out.
Yeah. She's and she's always been openly bi. So it's not like this is a straight celebrity who all of a sudden we're like, oh, what happened? Miley's like, I'm super gay, everyone. And this is a hot girl I'm making out with. And the straights are like, they're just friends. Why does the media have to blow everything out of proportion like that? They're just good gal pals. I'm like, Miley's saying it. It's not even the media. It's her freaking Instagram. Oh, I don't know why I'm so worked up, but I'm just like straight people.
I mean, we've done 20BiTeen, we've done 20BiTeen. We're just not going to have a 20 straight teen. It's, we're out of teens, unfortunately.
We're out of teens.
It's too bad.
Sorry, guys. It's just not happening.
Oh,
are the straights okay?
Almost never. I feel like we should somewhat wrap it up. I don't know that we had a cohesive through line. Our through line is 20BiTeen. What a year.
What a year.
What a year it's been and continues to be. And we just want to show some love for our bisexual babes out there, because we know you're out there, and we love you.
I feel like that was a sign-off of one of those late night shows. I know you're out there, and we love you.
If you're listening to our smooth jazz on late night KTBI radio, we know you're out there, guys. This one's going out to you.
Yes. Oh, I just realized how KTBI, KTBI.
You're welcome.
That was amazing.
You're welcome for that. In my other life as a radio producer,
I mean, you are a radio host, Lee. Podcast.
Are you cruising the highways of life, looking for a special someone of either gender? This one's going out to you.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it so much. And with that, we have to I don't even feel right calling this a Q and gay now. It has to be a Q and bi today.
A Q and bi. I need a pun for it. I don't have a pun
I know, I'm sorry. We'll come up with it. But this is our first Q and gay of season 3. We're going to have to record a separate Q and bi.
Bye. There you go. I think we did. We did it live. We did the live version.
Yes, we're fine.
Q and gay.
Question 1, Ellie. Who do you want to see play Valkyrie's love interest? A. Brie Larson. B. Natalie Portman. C. Janelle Monáe.
Always.
Or D. All of the above.
I honestly have to go with all of the above because I really just see Valkyrie as this player to the max who's just
God, yes.
You.
How funny would it be if it wasn't since we haven't seen the movie yet because it doesn't exist, how funny would it be if the question was not Valkyrie has to find her queen. How funny would it be if, like, what that meant is actually, it's like a reality dating show. Where she's like juggling 3 of them, and she has to, like, decide on one of them by the end of the movie. How amazing would that be?
Honestly, brilliant.
Okay, Olivia Wilde, if you need another movie idea, we're on fire tonight.
Valkyrie, find her queen. On this episode.
Today's episode.
Valkyrie's giving out a staff. Like, I don't know.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. All right. What is your favorite bisexual happening of 20BiTeen? This is very broad happenings. A, Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Carter. B, Valkyrie. C, Karen Walker and Will and Grace. Or D, Are You the One?
Ooh, tough call. I feel like if I was caught up on Are You the One, it would be that. But since I'm not, I'm gonna have to go with A, Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Carter, because I just think it's great. I have been to Lake Como, and it is a beautiful place, and I bet they are just having a delightful bisexual time out there, and I love that they're just like, fuck all y'all, we're gonna go on a boat and just, like, straight mac all day long and have no cares in the world, and I think it's great. And I love that people are trying to pretend that it's something that it's not, because they're not being shy at all.
At all.
Question 3. Is Karen bisexual or straight and lost? A, bisexual. B, straight and lost. C, obviously bisexual. D, seriously, are we even still doing this?
I'm gonna have to go with D.
Yes,
seriously,
correct.
Are we even still doing this? Come on, Will and Grace.
There's not usually a right answer to our Q and gay questions, but this is the correct answer.
Yep.
Excellent work.
Whew. All right, number 4. This is a tricky one. Who's your favorite Rose? A, Johnny. B, Moira. C, David. Or D, Alexis?
Oh, this is such a tough call. I think I have to go with my heart and say I love Alexis.
I felt it. I knew that was coming.
You know me, Ellie. You know me.
I
love Alexis. I find her delightful. I love all of them, and I love David, and I love everything that he's doing for positive representation for pan people. I can't deny my true feelings. I love Alexis.
I get it. She grows on you too, and she's such a good actress. I gotta go. Moira's my girl. Through and through.
I mean, Catherine O'Hara's amazing. Just
unreal.
Just
amazing.
The
character work is impeccable.
Yeah. Okay. I know this is gonna be tough for you, Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather chill on a boat with your hot girlfriend or be on a trashy reality TV show?
Oh, come on. All right. It's clearly be on a boat with my hot girlfriend. If you're
Jenna
pulling
will be
my
so
leg.
glad to hear it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I just wanted to give you the option, you know.
What if I chill on a boat with my hot girlfriend on a trashy reality TV show?
Oh, you
about our lives.
We didn't think about combining them. You're so right.
I could be down for that.
Next time.
I would have to convince her to do that, which would not happen, but we can make it work.
Okay, everyone. Remember, you can also give us your answers to this episode's Q and Bi questions on our Twitter. We should have made them all like just A or B. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
We missed an opportunity.
Okay, sorry. On our Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We absolutely love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community, and we just like to take an opportunity and shout out some of our favorite things that have been happening every week. This week, we want to shout out 2 things, starting with a shout out for Sam. You can find her at PandaSam3194 on Twitter. I know you've been waiting, Sam, for season 3 to come back. We're here. I think you've been more excited possibly than we are about us
and
returning.
We're pretty freaking excited, so that's saying something.
We're definitely excited. So we just wanted to give you a little shout out. We really love the posts, the excitement, the joy, because, you know, it's fun for us to remember that other people are excited too that we're coming back. It's not just Ellie and I getting super pumped every week. So thank you. It helps, you know, keep us excited as well.
And the second thing we want to shout out is something that happened over our hiatus. We had a listener, Amy, reach out to us. She is a queer woman over the age of 50, and she really wanted to connect with other women of her age group. So we set up this thing that we call Gen X Pen Pals. And we connected, I think, like 7 or 8 women who are of the Gen X generation, and they've been emailing back and forth. We heard from some of them that they helped one of them pick out an outfit for Deanna's date coming up. So they've been chatting, they've been hitting off, and we are just so happy to be able to connect you all. So if you are a part of Gen X and you want to be a pen pal, message us at leshangoutpod@gmail.com. We'll add you to the list and we'll get you connected with some other like-minded queer women.
And as always, we need to shout out our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Kayla Kelly,
Lizette Stye,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jess Klaus,
Danny Griswold,
Michelle Ray Thomas,
Sarah and Julia,
Nicole Gross,
Carrie Ann Lawrence,
Mark Foster,
and Danny Gunlock Timora. Killed that last name.
You crushed it. Thank you so much to all of you. You make this podcast happen.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can send us an email at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Make sure you subscribe on whatever app you use to listen to podcasts. That way, you'll know as soon as new episodes are available.
We will also still be posting videos on our YouTube channel, just not as frequently, but make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
If you want to support the podcast, there are a couple different ways that you can do that. The easiest one and the freest one is to rate and review us on iTunes. A, we love reading the reviews, and B, it helps other people find the podcast.
And if you want to support us financially, you can do that at bit.ly/lespatreon. Like I said in the beginning, we have some new tiers we're excited about. We're also trying to get to 100 patrons by October 1st. And if you become one of those 100 patrons, you have the opportunity to come on for a Q&A this season. So do that before October 1st because we would love to hang out with you.
We also have a merch store. You can find it at bit.ly/lesshop. We've got tees, we've got tanks, we've got totes, and now we have pins, and they're super cute, and I want to buy all of them. So check them out. Get your own pins. Make me jealous.
If you want to follow us individually, you can follow me at Ellie Brigida on Instagram and Twitter.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LSH Foster.
And with that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.